A tight chemical supply is impacting farmers in Michigan and across the country. A kernel of truth about corn planting in colder weather, and AFBF unveils resources for farmers struggling with mental health challenges. I'm Janelle Brose, and this is Farm News 5.
Farm News 5 is brought to you by Ford.
Farmers are having trouble getting their hands on some well-known herbicides, fungicides, fertilizers, and other products because there's a nationwide shortage forcing chemical dealers to ration what they sell.
Farmers are questioning me as to our supply. And so far we've been able to fill most of our orders. However, we now have reached a point where we've had to ration our more popular weed control products such as glyphosate and glufosinate, which is Liberty. Definitely some production and supply issues there. I don't know what the root of the cause is other than just what I'm being told in the industry is that we're short on some of the basic components to manufacture these herbicides.
While farmers may not be able to get the most popular herbicide or the one they wanted, there are still other options.
We want to start clean. You have some potential different options for burn down applications. If you're in conventional tillage, or if you're kind of one of those people that may just want to do vertical tillage, maybe you consider you might do a little bit more full tillage to make sure you're ripping up all those weeds so you're at least starting clean. And then with either one of those systems, we want to make sure that we're putting down a pre-emergence herbicide, because those pre-emergence herbicides will really help reduce the weed populations that we're dealing with in season. And there's a lot of products that are particularly good on mare's tail, or particularly good on water hemp or palmer amaranth. And we've tried to outline a lot of those in the weed control guide. And there's probably 30, 40 different products that you can look at, and a lot of different premixtures. So that is where you're going to be thinking, okay, I have my glyphosate or I have my Liberty, and hopefully you have those options. And at that point, you might want to consider including a residual product like a Dual or a Warrant or an Outlook or a Zidua to get you some late season control, so you don't necessarily have to come back. And that's really going to help with things like a lot of the small seeded broadleaf weeds like water hemp and some of those others. The other options that we do have is, let's say you're kind of limited on those products. Think back to using things like Select for grass control, or Select Max. We still have things like Cobra and FlexStar. We have some of the ALS inhibitors, but we need to be cautious about what weeds might be resistant to some of those herbicides.
Farmers looking for alternatives should consult the 2021 MSU Weed Control Guide, which can be purchased from the MSU Extension bookstore. Coming up, cooler temperatures mean corn growers should put the brakes on planting.
There's torque. Then there's 1,050 pound-feet of available best-in-class torque. There's towing. Then there's up to 37,000 pounds of available best-in-class towing. There's backing up a trailer. Then there's backing up with available class-exclusive Pro Trailer Backup Assist. In other words, there are trucks, and then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
As temperatures dip this week, Missy Bauer of B&M Crop Consulting says it's time to stop the corn planter.
Our overall suggestion would be yes. Now, certain situations, maybe acreage you got to get through, logistics, maybe there's some reasons you can't in your operation. If that is the case, then we encourage a couple things. Number one, it should be seed that has really good cold germ and saturated cold germ if we're going to get some water here. Number two, that it's not your best fields. You're not going out and planting your best productivity fields or your best irrigated pivot type field that you have. You're going to plant some of your lower quality fields that you have, and then maybe you can keep moving. But overall, our recommendation for probably 90% of our clients today would be to shut the corn planters down. Go ahead, continue to plant your beans. Beans are not sensitive to this at all, but shut the corn planters down until we get on the back side of this cool down and we can see the last day and a half of it. Then we start planting where we know that first drink of water, that 24, 36 hours after we plant when it imbibes that water, if we're going to have the warmer temperatures so that drink can be warm. That's what we're after. What we did here today on May 5th is went ahead and put out a plot of planting into these cold conditions. So we will then come back once we got warm forecast and warmer conditions and fill in the rest of these strips out here to really do some evaluation. What we're after is uniformity of emergence, which can be really difficult to get under the cool conditions, and when that first drink of water is cold and we get more of that chilling injury, we just don't get that uniformity. Too many of your plants aren't coming up within that same, say, 12 to 24 hour window of one another. They're coming up too delayed, and it's really hard to make up for those yield losses. So again, pay attention to the forecast, what's going on there, what's the conditions as you're going forward. In corn planting, there's a lot of ups and downs, at least in Michigan here, with that roller coaster effect. We don't just get warm and stay warm. These are the battles that we have to fight.
Up next, rural mental health challenges are top of mind at American Farm Bureau.
At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
In recognition of May as Mental Health Month, the American Farm Bureau Federation launched an online directory of resources for farmers and their families who are experiencing stress and mental health challenges. The directory, which is on the Farm State of Mind website at farmstateofmind.org, features listings for crisis hotlines and support lines, counseling services, training opportunities, podcasts, videos, published articles, and other resources in Michigan and every other state. This week was Teacher Appreciation Week, so it's only fitting we close out Farm News 5 highlighting an ag-friendly educator.
I'm Julie Beach, and we're here at Jubilee Farms, and we are in Fowlerville, Michigan, and we raise mini silky fainting goats. This breed of goat is super endearing and calm and gentle and friendly, and so I thought, you know what, these goats could do way more than just be in the show ring. And so I started to take them around to many different farmers markets, schools, and things like that, and had kids read to the goats. And so the kids were reading to the goats. That evolved into me transforming our unfinished basement into a place to read and engage with the kids, and the goats came in there just for our story times. Then we built our schoolhouse, and so now the kids, we have a school here on the farm, kindergarten and junior kindergarten school, and we have story times, and we still show our goats, and we still breed them and sell them, and it all works together. So one of the first experiences I had with goats and kids was when I brought them to schools, and there was a little guy in one of the classrooms who did not read at all to any adult throughout the school year, and this was in the spring. And I brought the goats in, and he sat down and he actually read the books to the goats. It was so cool, and the teacher was so excited because goats are unassuming. They are non-judgmental, and they just listen to the animals. So those kids that might be thinking that people are really critical of what they're reading, they feel really comfortable to read to the goats.
I like to read books here. I like coming here because there's all different kinds of things you get to see here.
The goats are very nice. They are sweet and beautiful.
To view the entire video of our visit to Jubilee Farms, visit Michigan Farm Bureau's YouTube page. For other news and videos, visit MichiganFarmNews.com. With Farm News 5, I'm Janelle Brose. Have a great week of farming.